good information, and I agree. I hope that people go and read the 17th Census report. So we've got, yeah, it's a lot of good, it's a lot of bad stuff in there that's good stuff that we need to read. Like what Jamaica said, like it kind of helps us see where we are and why certain thought processes are out there. So, because if this is what they really believe, like it's like y'all really believe
like that is really
Yeah.
yeah. So
all these years.
yeah.
Anything to not hold yourself, be accountable for what has happened. Like that is really where I think this came from. It's like, oh no, we got to do something. Nope. How dare they know what really happened? That's not what we said happened.
Exactly. So, all right. We had a little technical difficulty. We got it straight now. So, all right, let's bring Corey in.
All right. So this evening, at the beginning of the show, I spoke about us having another guest on this evening that is going to bring us some amazing information. This gentleman's name is Mr. Courtney Redmond, and I want to tell you a little bit about him. First of all, he's been someone that we at the Scoop have been following individually and collectively for quite a while based on the information that he shares with his community and those who are interested in learning about gun safety, gun laws, proper handling, all of that good stuff that we're going to get into tonight. But I want to tell you a little bit about why this king is qualified to speak on these subjects. Mr. Courtney Redmond has served 8 years in the United States Marine Corps. He served 2 combat tours in Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. While in the Marine Corps, he also held 2 MOS jobs, which were a radio operator and the infantry assaultman. I don't want to mispronounce that, but I think it's assaultman, all while serving in the infantry and learning various combat tactics. He's certified firearms instructor with the National Rifle Association and the United States Concealed Carry Association. He is also the Chicago Club Chapter 761st Gun Club, president of the National African American Gun Association, also known as the NAAGA, and he is proficient in NRA basic pistol, NRA defensive pistol, personal protection inside the home, personal protection outside the home, certified NRA rifle instructor, shotgun instructor, home defense instructor, concealed carry instructor, range safety officer, and basic handguns. He also has a degree as an Associates of Science of Firearms Technology from the Sonora Desert Institute. And he's a short-term gunsmith, and he fixes and modifies firearms. Honey, if this thing has a trigger, this man knows what to do with it, okay?
Thank you for
Without further ado, Scoop family, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Courtney Redmond. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you all for having me. I'm so glad to be on the show.
That's what's up.
No problem. So let's jump into this. So tell us, how did you get started? I mean, we know you're in the military, but what made you decide to come out of the military and do this after the Marine?
Okay, one of the first things I want to say, I started at 18 with firearms. I wasn't proficient. I didn't know anything about firearms until I got to the Marine Corps. And they make sure that you know your way around weapons. If you don't, you will have some drill instructor in your face yelling about safety and everything else. So when I got out, I've been out years, but one of my friends, all my friends used to come up to me and ask a question of, "Hey man, can you help me with this weapon? Can you show me how to break this down, clean this?" And one of my friends said, "Hey, you need to make this a career, man. You need to go ahead and make this a career. You need to go ahead and educate the Black community on firearm safety." And that's where it took off, and that's why I started.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's grown. You're everywhere. And
yes, I got
everywhere.
I'll be down in Oklahoma City April 23rd through the 25th.
Yeah.
I go to Houston the end of February. I go down to Kentucky. I was supposed to set up a class in Minnesota. Trust me, I just try to educate everywhere I can about gun safety and just making sure that we are properly adult and we do know about firearms as much as possible.
Is there a particular reason why now this is a thing, or is it just a thing that's necessary, or is it
That was my question.
yeah, I mean,
Well, you got to think about the threats that face our communities. Whether it's a threat from inside the community or outside the community, you have to be able to protect yourself any which way, right? And I'm from Chicago, so we all know about Chicago, and we know how Chicago is. And I'm not going to take anything or give anything to it. I love my city, but it's a dangerous time. Also, you got to think outside of the community. If they can mobilize in your community. So with you not being protected, myself, I don't rely on the government to come protect me. As a black man, when has the government ever protected our community besides us? So it's up to us to educate each other on proper handgun handling tactics, and to ensure that everyone gets the same education on handguns, on rifles, on shotguns, on any type of gun, to learn how to protect our communities.
absolutely.
True.
What are some of the resistance? I'm sorry. What are some of the resistant things?
Well, just like the lady that was just talking earlier, some of the resistance that I receive is from my local politicians. They don't like to meet with me because I ask the tough questions about gun control. I ask, how does gun control help for the black community? I think everybody should ask any of their politicians, their local politicians, how does this gun control help my community? Because it does not. It does not help my community in any safe manner, to where we have to protect ourselves. When we say we want to ban this or we want to ban that, well, when you ban it, you got to think about who mostly has that weapon. Is it the black community? Because if it's not the black community, it's definitely another community. So we have to look at that situation. I often tell my students, I don't care if you're the Democrat or Republican or whatever you want to be. I don't care one way or another. What I care about is the fact that black community has to protect itself. And if we're not doing that, then we have failed ourselves. And it takes a conversation with any politician, whether they're Republican or Democrat, to say, hey, we need to ensure that at least education. One of the things that I do run into is people don't understand why I say all gun laws are racist. And I say it a lot. Yes, I put it in a lot of my posts. But the reason is you got to look at the history of it. You look at the 1800s, you look at the black codes. The black codes they said that slaves could not own firearms after slavery because they were scared of an insurrection. Also, moving up to not 1700s, but past the 1800s, going into 1988. 1988, Chicago Housing Authority made it illegal for any of their tenants to own firearms. And if you know about Chicago Projects, which is Chicago Housing Authority, well, you got to think that was when the most crime happened, and they were selling, drugs, and so you had crime all in the projects, and people were unable to defend themselves in their own projects or their own home. Also, going back to looking at the 1994 crime bill, President Bill Clinton at the time, he wanted to ban anyone that was on federal subsidies or federal that were receiving any type of federal aid. They were trying to ban anyone that stayed in federal housing. They were trying to ban them from owning firearms. It didn't pass, but it was one of the things that was brought up for legislation.
So I have a question about that, because that was actually going to be the basis for my next question, because I've been following you for a while and I've learned a lot on this particular issue. So when you say all gun laws are racist, and following what we just learned from Jamika, and I'm glad that you just gave us some timeline as far as where that comes from in our communities, I appreciate that. How, and then Way posted a question asking, why do we continue to vote for politicians who push gun control in our communities? So my question is, being someone who has, in more recent years, been one who's watched what's going on in our communities as well as the nation, and have questioned a lot about guns in general. You know, we are a gun carrying household.
I love Oklahoma, as a matter of fact.
Say it again.
I say I love Oklahoma, as a matter of fact. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
go ahead.
right. You know, like I support it, but I also support knowing what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I do support having some kind of control. So my question is, how do we balance us being empowered to protect ourselves legally and, you know, on the right side, being smart about it? How do we balance that with the fear of knowing that there has to be something done about what's happening? You know what I mean? Because the more education we all have, the more guns everyone has. How do we still balance that with the people who aren't looking for education, who aren't looking to, you know, like that's, I know, a good portion of why people say we've got to do something. I don't know what, but there's got to be something done. So can you tell us what your thoughts are on that?
Well, one thing with the Second Amendment community is this one thing. And I think this is a median for everyone, and I think this should be a median. A lot of guys in the second community, and I agree, it should be a mandate that you take a firearms class before you buy a firearm. It should be a mandate that you should take a class and get education on the firearm. And I think that's one of the medians that's not talked about, and I think it needs to be talked about more. You know, whenever I'm giving a class to a student, I can judge by the questions that they ask. I can judge by the conversation whether, you know, there's something that may be fishy or eerie to me. Right? I, as an instructor, it's my duty to make sure that I'm not putting guns in someone's hands that's mentally unstable. I don't want anyone to do that. And as also, it should be a requirement for classes, but we also have to make sure that it's affordable for the people, not just the rich people.
Yeah.
But we have to make sure that it's affordable for the poor and oppressed people. They have to protect themselves also. This is not a just a rich person's how can I say it? It's not just a rich person's thing to where they can protect themselves. Everyone should be able to afford the right to protect themselves. And I think that's one of the medians that we need to discuss more, is the fact that we need gun education.
Do you think gun education will reduce the crime that we have in our communities? How do we connect those two things to each other?
Okay. One of the things in the crime in our community, one thing is,
or in general, because I know we can have a very funneled conversation about our communities because that's so wrapped up in a lot of stuff. So just let's put it in general, I guess. Like, and when I say our communities, that I mean in our human to human interaction, in and out of our Black and brown communities.
Well, one of the biggest things about our community, we say about social and economical challenges, but we also don't address the fact of SSRIs, and what that is antidepressants and the different drugs that they're doing. They're doing Oxycontin, Percocet. They're doing all type of stuff. It has dramatically changed from when we were young. It was just weed.
Yeah.
Now it is everything under the sun. They're doing Molly, Percocet, lean, and weed
at the same
time. And a lot of times, if you look at the crime in Chicago, a lot of them guys, they're doing them drugs and they don't have a heart. They don't have they have to cope with what they're about to do, so they don't have a heart. And we have to explore things that's going to help with opioid addiction. Even, I mean, President Trump came up with the opioid bill. I don't know how extensive that went. It's still a problem in Chicago. It's still a problem throughout the world. So we have to be more expansive on the opioid that is coming into our community. Also, I think we need to turn over a new leaf as far as, you know, conflict resolution. We have to find a way for conflict resolution before it takes it to the level. Me, as a concealed carry holder and someone who carries a firearm every day, I am not looking for trouble. The last thing I want to do is take someone's life.
I know that.
But I would defend my life to the end. I would defend my family's life until the end. I am a protector. I am the husband. I am the father. I am the protector. It's my duty to protect my family. But I am not looking for any type of situation to where I have to fight or I have to, you know, pull my pistol. And I think conflict resolution and a lot of the psychological problems that we have in our community has to be addressed, especially going to get help, especially learning how to cope with depression. learning how to cope with any psychological issue that there may be.
When you say conflict resolution, you mean how to de-escalate conflict type stuff? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly. You know,
before you pull out the gun.
say again.
So you basically saying that conflict resolution is one of the problems why people are quick to use a firearm.
Yes, and the lack of, I think the lack of compassion for life. That's one thing. You know, you have to realize that when you pull that trigger, you can't pull that bullet back.
Nope.
You cannot pull that bullet back. You can't say I'm sorry. You can't say, you know, I didn't mean to do it. That bullet is going to do what it was designed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And education on firearms, even with my son is 14 and 12. At 10, I started them. I took them to the gun range and I showed them what the firearm does. And I asked him, "Do you want to hurt your brother?" He said, "No." "And do you want to hurt your brother?" "No." They see what it does. It takes away the curiosity of what this might do.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my husband took our boys, all of our children, to the gun range when they were 10. So I carry well. I am a license to carry. And I personally, at first, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have this gun on me all the time. But recently, it was a lot of carjackings.
Yes, same thing in Chicago.
Right. So I live in Northwest Indiana, so I'm not too far. I'm 20
okay, you know, yep.
And so in Indiana, it's, you know, here we like carry.
I love it.
You understand? So now I'm at the point where I done strapped it to my little person because I'm seeing all these carjackings, and these are children. Like I have kids these ages that these people are stealing cars. And I'm like, the last thing you want to do is like shoot somebody's kid.
Yeah.
They are shooting people in carjackings. And if I'm in the car with one of my kids, all of us know how to shoot. So now like, let me explain. Let mommy explain something to y'all. If
it goes down, it's going down.
Run and hide. You know how to use that thing. You do know. So but I'm like you, it was kind of like to kill the curiosity, like they don't have to worry about it. They know safety and things like that. But now we kind of put in a situation where you feel the need to carry it. And at first, when I first started shooting, it was kind of like, let's, keep it as a sport, make it fun, learn the safety of it. It's like, learning a new sport. But now you're forced to feel like you need it for safety. I don't know, and I get it, and I just don't know if I'm so. Like in Indiana, they ended up opening a license to carry handgun application as soon as all this stuff happened with COVID and like Black Lives Matter rallies. Basically the application for the 5-year became free. It used to be $50, but there is no license to carry. Like I didn't have to take a conceal and carry class. I didn't have to. I just had.
I think, and I think I can't make every state do that. I think everyone who wants to own a firearm should take some class, right? Because if you can't, even with my concealed carry class, I make sure I give them the very basics first, because you're taking someone that has never shot a firearm that said they want to carry a firearm. I always follow up my students. Like I said, I have more classes than enough. I follow up my students. Have you went to the range? No, I don't give you that excuse. Go to the range, train.
Right.
I got another class. I got a defensive pistol class. I got a carjacking class. I got all these classes that I have to teach, and I'm following up with my students.
I need that carjacking class when I go grocery shopping.
We will work it out. If you know Northwest Indiana, trust me, I can meet you in Willow Slough, or you can meet me at Illinois Rifle Association. We will make it happen.
Okay, we'll set that up. Cute. Like, don't come for me when I'm getting my groceries now.
Yeah, right.
And then ask his father, because his father took my concealed carry course.
Yeah.
And his father was very much against guns. And we had a conversation. Without anyone just sitting there yelling at each other or anything. We had a conversation. If someone was to break in your house, what would you do?
Yeah.
And some people can't answer that question. Some people try to answer the question. Someone told me I would grab a bat. I say, well, what if you didn't have time to grab a bat?
Yeah,
I'll call the police. What if you don't have time to call the police? You have to defend yourself by any means necessary.
Yeah. And I get it. I get it. There's a fear of gun because when you think about it, think about somebody who's responding in fear. Somebody been there ran up on me and I done shot him because I thought that they were trying to do something to me and they just thought they knew my mama or something. I don't know. Nowadays people are paranoid. And you get the gun in the wrong hands. It's just, I think that's what I've always been on the fence. Again, I carry, but it makes me, because the laws are so lenient here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, like,
here too.
Here's one of the things that someone that likes to argue with me. They said not everybody's supposed to have a gun, and I said you are 110% right. 100%. Right, but everyone is not supposed to have a gun has a gun, so I need a gun to protect myself.
Exactly. Now that's okay. You're right. So, okay. On that note, it'll be in.
That's true.
No argument for me. I keep
That's something that I had to come to understand as well, because my husband has military experience. He was in the Navy, so like he's very comfortable, has multiple guns, and has them out often. I have to think to myself, similar to Candace, when I am on those rare occasions when I am out by myself, I don't want to be in that position where you have to look around. Where's my, you know what I mean? Oh, he's not here to take care of me. You know what I mean? Like those types of things were important to me in a much different way than they were before. So at that point, I got much more involved in what it was I needed to know. I need a gun that's going to be comfortable in my hands. You got carpal. You don't need no big gun you can't shoot. You know what I mean? Like I had to think to myself, like, you need to be able to effectively defend yourself. Like how seriously are you taking this? I'm protecting my babies until the death of me. But if you can't effectively do that in the moment, you know what I mean? Like you got to be able, I had to get out of that bubble of, oh no, there's gotta be a way. Like, we had to do this. You gotta be able to get in there and get it done. We'll chat about it after everybody makes it back to the house. You know what I mean?
One thing I do want to say, I want to say to all Black people, I want to say, get concealed carry insurance. Get concealed carry insurance. NRA has it, USCCA has it, Texas Law and Shield. There's a variety of insurances out there. Do your research, do your due diligence, and look and see which one fits you. Also, train. Right? Just because we have firearms or we took one class, there's always another level.
We go to that range.
Yeah.
What's the benefit of having the insurance?
Well, if you have an incident to where you had to take someone's life, they cover you with the criminal trial and they cover you with the civil trial. Even though you may be justified in shooting someone, that doesn't mean that the family cannot come back and sue you. They can sue you and it can cause money. And they have you all the way through and through. And if you get locked up for whatever reason, they will bail you out. They will pay you for your time that you lost and compensate you for your time. They will make sure that you are. They will give you the best legal attorney that they can afford, and they will get you any. They will try and get you anything that you can, or anything that they can. I mean.
Okay, and this is in the matter if you shoot somebody, basically.
Yes. It's just like it's in a sense of a car accident.
True.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, get it. Like I said, I'm an instructor with the USCCA, and it's been phenomenal just to know that someone has your back. That if anything happens.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for that.
What other? I guess so we're going to talk about this more later. With all of the, we saw, was it in New Jersey, the woman getting beat, at the store, and like when we're seeing all of that, to you, is that signal we need more guns?
One thing is guns are not for offense; they're for defense. I don't know what video you're talking about. All I heard was a lady was getting beat at the store. Well, that's the reason for her to defend herself, right? And that's a forcible felony. In Illinois, a forcible felony is a right for you to defend yourself and use a deadly force. So one thing is to know your laws, whether it's stand your ground laws or it's a do not retreat laws. If you don't know your law, it's just that gun is a paperweight.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know when to pull the trigger or when you should or should not be able to defend yourself, you can find yourself in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell a lot of my students, you can't go starting stuff. You can't be the aggressor starting stuff, and now you want to pull out a pistol. That is not. That's going to put you in jail 110%, 110% of the time. You can't go say, "Well, she was talking to me crazy." Nope. You can't say, "No, I don't like the way he was talking." Nope. You can't. I avoid conflict. I will walk away. If you still want to have a problem after that, okay, I will walk away. I'll avoid conflict. With me being a license holder, I hold myself to a higher standard. I hold myself
You should have more knowledge. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I hold myself to a standard. I don't try to be. I'm not this tough guy with a gun.
Right.
I'm a tough guy without the gun, but I'm not. That doesn't make me any tougher. Doesn't make me any tougher. It just makes me. It just makes me a man. I mean, but it doesn't make me a man. I'm already a man, so.
I got you. That's what's up. That's good. That's you know, I hope that a lot of us do take this in consideration. I'll be honest, I see more ladies doing this now, and I'm impressed. Like
we had a few weeks ago. It rode in the back with me. Little baby was in the back, right with me, right up under the little console. We rode comfy the whole way, had no fear. Whether it was bear, boy, or anything else, we were ready. Okay.
Ready.
Yeah, we were comfortable with it, So yeah, it's necessary.
Our police station gives pepper spray and stuff too. I noticed that if you do go to the police station, they will give you pepper spray. And I was thinking about that, like, dang, everything don't call for the gun, because like if I'm going to the park and like fake, but just at the park, you know how that's usually where people are caught off guard when they're exercising in parks and stuff. And all the time would it require a gun? Or what if it's a pepper spray moment? I guess those moments where it requires some pepper spray. It might be a bat moment, like the guy said, grab a bat.
You are right.
The difference.
You are right. You have just that moment to make a decision. You are 100% right. Is it a pepper spray moment? Is it something that you can defend yourself? One thing you learn in some of concealed carry classes: if you can escape. Right? If you can escape, it's not like, oh, I've been waiting on this one. I'm waiting to shoot somebody.
I've been waiting to shoot you in your foot.
Yeah.
No, it's about the fact that, hey, I have to make a decision right here and there. Can this person's life be saved? Right? The last resort in any confrontation or anything is the firearm. You want to make that your last resort. In Illinois, you have to have a FOI card to have a firearm and a concealed carry license. And then in Illinois, you have to have a FOI card to have a taser. Right? So those are some of the laws that people don't understand and don't know, and I think we need to educate each other on.
That's good. Someone posted in the comments, you can't carry your gun in the park in Illinois. Girl, come
well, no,
man, be strapped right around my chest.
Not in Illinois, just Cook County. Let them know it's just Cook County.
Oh, just Cook County, Erica. These women out here be having babies strapped to their chest with their guns.
But I hate to cut it short. I think we need to do this again, and I'll come back with more information. But I do have to get back to work.
Yeah, we'll definitely do this again, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
thank you for having me.
All right, have a good night. That's good.
Great segment.
Good information. We gotta do it. We don't have a choice at this point. We have to.
Yeah. It's a thing. It's like a necessity now. Don't come in here.
We have to do it.
Sorry, y'all know how it goes.
Thank you. So real quick, I know we've got. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Do our commercials real quick. I know we got. You want to go ahead and introduce?
Yeah, I'm gonna go real quick. So this video is of one of my clients and longtime friends, Miss Courtney. She recently locked her hair. These are her starter coils and her response to my product, the cocoa mango. No, this was the Sexy Shan cocoa coiling custard that was used on these starter coils. Want to give you a little heads up. There's adult language used in this little clip right here, but it is adult language for excitement. So I just want to kind of preface with that. Go ahead and press play, bro.
Understand, like, I fucking love my hair, y'all. Like, oh my God. I cannot believe I waited so long with so much procrastination, and this shit looks fucking amazing. Oh my God. No, seriously, I love it. I can't wait till it lock. I'm gonna be swinging on you hoes. Just know. Oh yeah. Yeah, you see it. Cute. Thanks, sis.
Why was that so cute though?
Thank you. If you would like to purchase your products, I have a wide variety of natural hair and skincare products that are going to get you and your coils, curls, lusciousness together. And you can purchase those at elegancebydesign.com.
All right. Hold on. All right, I'll be taking a second to type that. All right. So what else we got real quick? Oh, Kels isn't here, so you know we gotta do
it. Gotta get it in there.
So if you don't know, Kels, our other co-host, is the owner of Bob Shamrock on the corner of 10th and May in Oklahoma City. This Saturday, they are having. Is it Moe's? Is that the name of the company again? They're going to be doing a smoke barbecue again. So I'll come out, as she says, pull up and fill up, so we can support this sister and their Black-owned gas station in Oklahoma City. So y'all definitely check that out. Again, it is Bob Shamrock on 10th and May in Oklahoma City. Y'all go check Kels out and her crew, and yeah. Fill up their gas tank as well.
That's
also,
I'm hungry.
Brought to you by Elegance by Design. Excuse me, Curvy Kitten. Jesus Lord, I'm used to having to do yours. Don't shake your head at me. Curvy Kitten clothing. Curvy Kitten clothing is the newest style of jogging suit. So, ladies. This is comfortable. This is classy. So whether you're going to be lounging at the house or whether you got to go out, this is something that you can wear and be comfortable. So you can get this at curvykittens.com. Again, that's www.curvykittens.com. Go and get yours. All right, now we could do hot topic.
We did that now.
I feel like I'm the church announcer today. Govern yourselves accordingly. Right. All right. So let's jump into these hot topics again, real quick. Before we get into hot topics, y'all, once again, make sure y'all tag your friends. Tell them we getting ready to do these hot topics, and we need them to be involved. So y'all tag your people, hit the share button, and then give us your comments as well. So the first hot topic tonight, very intriguing question to me at least. The question is, well, the young lady posted, here it is. She says, I don't care what anyone says, being posted actually makes people feel good. It's not even about proving a relationship to the world. It's just the fact that someone is proud to be about you and show you off. Mm-hmm. So this is the response to the conversation of people saying that they don't care or don't have to, their partner, spouse, whatever, doesn't have to post them on social media. So this is the response to that. So I'm interested in what our listeners, what you all think. I'm gonna start, Candace, with you. What do you think about this? Do you think Yeah, talk to me. Tell me your thoughts.
That was cute. I like the post. I think the post is true. Being posted about it does, because like you're saying, it's not about proving a relationship is perfect or anything. It just shows that somebody is about you, somebody thinks the world of you, somebody proud to be with you. Like a thing, you know, you don't want nobody with you and they're not proud to be with you. You don't want anybody that's with you that don't want to brag on you. We brag on our children all the time. We be posting their grades, and they just learned how to pee in the toilet, ride a bike. I mean, about it. Who doesn't want to be affirmed like that in a relationship? I wasn't really big on public affirmation. For me, it's, you know, who are we behind closed doors? But I do see that public affirmation and hearing what people think of you, when you are, especially if you're a critical thinker and hard on yourself, to hear the fact that somebody sees a side of you, see a strength in you that you don't know in yourself. And like you're saying, that person is about you and proud of you, proud to be with you, proud to represent you, proud to have you on their arm. I think the post is like absolutely correct to say that.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree with this post. I think we all have to acknowledge, like, when did it start being bad to make people feel good? You know what I mean? Like, it was hard for me to see.
Raised y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yes, people want to be told that they're awesome. You know what I mean? And this this was my main point of my comment on this particular post. For the majority of us at this point in our lives, we spend an enormous amount of time on social media. Okay. This is a part of our lives. This is not a phase. It's not going away. The social media is now ingrained in everything we do. It has helped lead legislation. It has helped shift culture, everything. So it's here. We can't keep putting social media in quotes as if it's this imaginary thing that holds no weight in our lives. It just does. It doesn't make you super cool because you put social media in quotes and put it in this little box. That's not what the rest of how that works. So if you spend your time there, that's where the majority of your peers are. That is where the people that you are doing all this impressioning is for. This is where you're building this persona, this brand, you know what I mean, of who you are. Why is it that now all of the rest of your world is on display except this? Why is this person, this position expected to be quiet because it's social media? Well, everything else is on social media. We knew you brushed your teeth at 5:05. We knew you had your smoothie at 5:25. We knew you was late because you forgot your keys at 6:05. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know your entire timeline, but we have no idea about anything else. You know what I mean? But that's the thing that you hold close, is the fact that you care for someone. So yeah, I think this post is very true. And I also said on the post, we are the generation of radio shout outs. Like, how many of us called and said, not just the people that we have allowed into our social media network as friends. We broadcasted our love, our testimonial of love to the world. Anybody who that signal.
Waited too.
Yeah, but we mad at a post. We now saying a post is too much. How dare you ask for a post every once in a while? Like,
so here's my thing. So first of all, y'all know I'm not one to post my relationships on social media. So that's I don't do that. I don't do it. Undo it. And I don't do it because I just but I don't post my whole life on social media either. Let me throw that out there. I think for me it is something that I want to hold sacred. Now that doesn't mean I will never post. Like, if I'm in a relationship with you, like, I ain't gonna never put nothing on there. No. My thing is, A, I don't want to be forced to do it. And B, typically when I see dudes post about their girl, they either brand new or they in trouble, and they trying to post trouble. So it's like, so anytime, my natural thing is my default is when I see a dude on there talking about some how much he loved his woman. I'm like, what you do? What you do wrong? And depending on how much much caking he does, unless he's naturally like that, like Dre. Yeah, I mean Dre. That's just how Dre is. So that you know what I mean. But if I know it's the dude, like I'm gonna use for since I know he was watching, I think he still is. If Wade posted a woman on social media, I'd be like, that Negro in trouble because that's just his normal. That's not his normal thing. You know what I mean? So I think it depends on who the person
I need to meet her.
Sis.
You understand? I hope he's
Tap
still
her again. Slide us in the inbox real quick.
Find out.
I would try to say that about bro, but I'm just saying, you know, that's just not the things that he would normally post. Like Dre normally does stuff like that.
Dre is Little Debbie himself.
Dre is the king of, you know, that's what I call him. He's the king of cake. And so I think that's for me is different. Again, I'm not saying I would never do it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I think that sometimes it's forced and I don't like that. And I'm not doing it because I'm in trouble. Like that's just, but again, I actually
wait, so you got that.
Exactly. That's exactly how we feel.
So I just think it depends on why you're doing it. That matters more than anything. I don't have a problem with it. I think, you know, just don't for it.
I'm a transparent person. So I just post because somebody put that it keeps strays away, the strays on notice. And like that's not even it for me either. Like it has nothing to do with letting people know who I am and like I'm the woman. Like it ain't even about that for me. It's just like if that's how you feel, post it. Send a shout out, like Q was saying. We was all for the radio. Let the birthday line come out when the birthday comes out, you know. So if your motive is, I'm gonna show you who I am and keep people out your inbox, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It does not work.
It makes it worse.
It makes it.
That's the problem. It makes it worse. You think you're putting the strays on notice. No, it is a red light indicator to all of the to people who want to cause trouble. And she's like, let me just give it a shot. I used to talk to her too. I don't care. I mean, you used to. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like all of that foolishness. So it's just I'm good. Again, I'm not saying I'll never do it. I'm not saying that. But
so if I think it depends on the person's love language, right? I think we talked about that in the post. Like what matters to them? What's their love language? Because that's one thing we all learned in marriage and relationships is, I don't do that. But at the same time, what does that person need from you? Yep. So,
I mean
I don't think they need it from you without feeling minimized or being appeased. When you that's something I think we can overlook in discussing love languages, especially when we talk about loving someone in theirs versus your preferred love language. You can't go, okay, so since you like post so much, like that's still just because you press post doesn't mean you still showed love. Like if now she feels ashamed or like she put you out because you had to now create this post to make her somehow feel more love. Like, since here you go. You see it.
Are you love now?
Yeah, like that's what that is. You have to when you're doing things like this, especially if it's out of your comfort zone. I think those to me are the most beautiful acts of love. Is when a person naturally may struggle in a space and they make genuine effort to meet you there cheerfully and with the same love that you would if it was your first love language. You know what I'm saying? So if there's effort being made, it doesn't have to be 3-4 paragraphs with a whole collage and video song tribute and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you have
a song. I want a song.
Yes, I need that. I need you to Google me. I need you to get the playlist popping, okay? every man doesn't, or every person doesn't adapt that well to that. But I think making an effort to show somebody that I'm going to try and meet you where you see yourself best, because that's essentially what I think relationships should be. You know what I mean? Helping your partner see themselves in the best light so they can bring that light to the ship. You know what I mean? So like we have to,
right?
Selflessness shouldn't be such a conversation when it comes to your person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's just I think that the problem, because this happens typically women to win. Not say that men don't want to be posted, because I know some brothers who have attitude and they ain't posted either. But I do, and that's a whole different feeling for me. You know, it's kind of. But anyway,
this is love language.
It's just, again, it's weird to me because
I know, I understand.
That's why I said to me, and I'm not. And I just look at him like, you really need that? Because for me, any love language that you have, that's not there are other ways to do it. So why is this such, a thing that helps you? Like if it's acts of service, I can do other things besides post you. If it's words of affirmation, I can affirm you in a conversation, in a note. Like, so why then is this particular thing of value to you? And again, I absolutely agree with you. Like, I think that once it's made known, then now you have to be careful, because I've had people be upset at me, obviously, for not posting them, and it's like, now that you don't express that you're upset, now I can't post you for a while because you just told me you was upset, you wanted it. Now I gotta wait until it's a good time that it doesn't feel like I'm just doing it because this is what you just told me that you do. Yeah, so I agree.
I say, if you think somebody is for you, you better, high regard. That's all I'm gonna say. If you stay down and hold them in high regard. It's not about the post, of course, but just make sure you hold them in high regard.
And that's why I say, if you're doing other stuff, I wonder if that matters. Like to your initial point, how we are off of social media. If we're solid there and things are really good, does it still matter? So that's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point. All right. Next one. So in this is the one from last week we didn't get to. She wants a relationship. He says he doesn't, but he comes to cuddle or have sex whenever she calls. Is he misleading her?
She misleading herself.
Say it.
You're misleading yourself, pimp.
Yep.
He said he don't want it. Ladies,
this is the equivalent of shipping yourself flowers. She bought and sold herself that dream. Like, he laid it plain. He made it real plain. That's when you should have moved that number on to the never mind and kept it moving. That's not your man, sis.
So at the moment he told her that he does not want a relationship, he was absolved from misleading her.
Because even though he comes to cuddle, now he's
taking advantage of her, but she puts herself in that position. Yeah.
So he's taking advantage of her, you think?
Because he wants him. That's the thing. He's playing on her weakness. Now he is being taking advantage of the situation. You know she wants you. She'll give up the cuddle, she'll give up the sex. That's hoping to win you over. So you're taking advantage knowing you have no intention of being in a relationship with her. So he is a piece of crap for that.
Wait, so why is she not taking advantage of him? Because she's continuing to use him for cuddles and sex.
Because she's getting attached though.
Right. Her manipulation is not, it's not, to me, her actions are not, it is a manipulation. Her manipulation is not going to bear fruit other than pain for her, because he's already put her in a box of this isn't happening. But at this point, he's made her say, why could, you're not finna twist this, Winfrey. I don't want a relationship. She said, I want a relationship. If she continues to call and he continues to show up, where is you being a grown man gonna say, I told you this is not what I wanted. This is not healthy for me. How healthy is that gonna be for him to stay in that wrapped up in that confusion? Like, just because it's offered, do you take every piece that's offered to you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, that's because you have grown ass man self-control. So you mean to tell me just because it's being thrown at you, you got to catch it every time? No, you have to say, sorry, sis, we've been here, done that. No, thank you. And since it's on the cutter with the next man who might actually want what she wants. So that's why he is wrong. She's stupid and still wrong, but he is also wrong. Not for the same type of wrong, but he is wrong.
So, okay, here's the question I always wonder, and this may be a little off. Like, do y'all really think that there is no like emotional attachment? Y'all really think that like this, like if for a man, not all men, but for men in general, that if we are in a situation like this, that we don't get any type of emotional attachment or like there's no feeling at all?
No, I don't think that. To a certain degree, I think you like her a little bit because you keep allowing yourself to do that, but you know good and damn well if you're taking this woman seriously or not. You ain't sexed yourself into the fact that you just gonna be for this woman forever because you just done sex her a couple times. I don't think men work that way. I really don't.
Now I would agree with that. But I think I just don't want to discount the fact that, not the fact because it doesn't happen every instance, but that that there is something that he is. That he does feel, and so it ain't like I'm just coming over to have sex and then I'm out. It's like there is an attachment that is there. And again, not the same type of attachment that she wants, but there's definitely an attachment and an emotional cost that happens to men when we do that. Most men, but most men.
She probably has a lot of great other things that keeps him coming back. You know. The cooking, it could be the comfort, familiarity. It could be so many different things as to why he comes back, but he just don't desire that relationship piece with her. But it's comfort, it's familiar, it's convenient to have her there too. So I mean, I think we've all probably been in a situation where we've done something out of convenience, but it's you know who will be there for you. You know who's gonna come when you call. So it's benefits to having somebody like that, just not the relationship.
Okay. Get you there. I get you there. I'm agree. Yeah, I tried to turn it around, kid. Good catch.
You really
did. I had you. You was walking.
I was trying, and I said, "Wait a damn!"
Like, you can't have
sleepy, but I ain't sleep now. I'm sleeping. No,
I had you on the ropes. I had on the ropes, and she was like,
no.
Yeah, she did wake up on that one. So.
Yeah, she like, wait. You see, she like, wait.
What you not gonna do?
Is this? That's what we're not gonna do. This right.
This is from LaGayla. Interesting question, men, and this came from was a result of another conversation we were having. But she asked the question, men, what do you interpret when a woman says, "I don't need you, I want you"?
Men, what do you interpret?
Man, what do you interpret? So I'm going to start by asking, okay, well, no, I'll answer the question first since I'm the man of the group. And then
Thank you.
Have a question.
Answer the question.
So I'm a little different. I think I interpret it as, and my interpretation is different. So I understand this. When a woman tells me she doesn't need me, she wants me, it makes me think she doesn't understand the value that I add in becoming her highest and best self. I feel like when a woman says, "I don't need a man, I want a man," it's saying that she thinks that she can become everything and do everything that she needs and wants to do without the assistance of a male partner. That's how I interpret it.
I disagree.
That's my interpretation.
And I think, I'm saying it's interesting that she asks, how does a man interpret that? And I think it offends men. I think that statement offends men, and it shouldn't. Because
I'm offended by it.
When it's all said and done, nobody really needs the other person. No, like when it's like not really. You know what I mean? Like I can do it by myself. I can do this. I can do that. My preference is to have you.
Sure.
I prefer you over all else. That's what that should mean. It is actually a compliment. if a person is not operating in offense, that can be taken as a compliment.
Mhm.
Just prefer you for, so whatever I'm doing, I need you in the other way. You know, I'm choosing to need you. I'm choosing to partner with you. I'm choosing to let my guard down and like let you help me. Let
Mhm.
me get you there. Like you were saying, I see the value in you, so I'm choosing this route. But when it's all said and done, if that's not what you want,
Mhm.
I don't need you. I can just go to the next one. So
Or not at all.
you
Or
don't want to do
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I agree. Yeah, I do. I completely agree with Candace. This comment always offends men, especially the men who identify as alpha males.
Mhm.
And it's very interesting to me because we have this conversation with different words often, and the responses seem to be expected for us to not need men, but want men. Because in any other conversation, a man says, I don't want you to want me to have to pay for your whole life. I don't want you to have to. I want a woman that's gonna meet me in the middle. I pay these bills, you pay those bills. We both work. We both this. We both that. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? I don't want you to need me. Essentially, is what we interpret.
Yeah.
Y'all
Y'all paying for our hair now.
You know, that's how it's interpreted to us when we decipher these conversations about what's expected, what's desired in a woman, all of that. We're told you better not need me because that's needy and we don't want that. You know what I mean? So when we say, I don't need you, I want you, is because you got it all. Oh, you ain't got no space for me. You don't need no man. You are the man. It's like, now how did we get here? Just 2 conversations ago, it was you want me going half, offering to pay for dates. You don't want no more gender roles. You don't want none of that. You know what I mean? You want a woman to come fully built, no need, no assembly necessary, out the box, ready to rock. Okay, that is what you say you want in 2021, the year of our Lord 2021. That is the woman you want. So when we say I don't need you, I want you, now it's there's no feminine energy. There's no room for a man. Where's the mess? He's too mad. Get on.
We already come with batteries and everything.
So what you just described to me is not the same as what I said.
It's never the same as what you said, Winfred.
So what I'm,
no man.
Nobody says what you say.
What you say?
Nobody says what you say. We're gonna have to get
like you don't count when it comes to
yeah, so I absolutely have no desire for my woman to pay 50-50. I have no desire for her to, I mean, I want, so when I say like the things that you described in terms of when I hear the typical don't be a needy person conversation to women, my interpretation of don't be a needy woman is don't wait around for a man to live your life. Don't not be able to take care of yourself. Don't, not be able to, like those types of things, like basic things that we would call basic, like basic things that you should be able to do as an individual, as a woman, as a man. So to me, those things, sure. But when I come along or when a man comes along, I think that at that point, those are things that you shouldn't have to do. You shouldn't have to do. Like I'm supposed to, and I'm still a gender role. I still have some gender role in me. So again, that's why I said when I read this, I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm not offended by it. Nor am I like, I'm not the type, I'm like, I don't, I see it. I'm like, I'm not saying that a woman can't fight the power, but I'm also the man that says I need a woman. So to me, it is, I need a woman because I realize I don't function my best as a single man because there are certain things, and I'm not even referring to like domestic things, but there are certain valuable things that I need that I can only get from a woman. And I ain't talking about my mama or my sister either. And I ain't even sex. This is just, there are some emotional things that I need from a woman that I cannot get from another dude or get by myself. So that's why I said why I like approaching this conversation of define what you mean by you need a man, you don't need a man versus neither one.
I think for most women, the I don't need a man, I want a man is more rooted in how women were originally positioned in relationships than anything.
Mhm.
I think this is our statement to say, I'm no longer dependent upon you for my life.
And I'm okay.
Before, we had to have a man. Like we did. Need a man to show up in spaces, to be relevant, to be seen, heard, taken seriously. You had to have a man. So in this day and age, when we say we don't need a man, we want a man, it's us saying we have now evolved to the point where we have a choice and we can still thrive and survive without a penis under my roof. And it's okay. You know what I mean? So that's essentially where I think most women, when we say this, it's not trying to minimize the actual man. It's saying we have come to a point now where I don't require you to sustain my life. That's
Absolutely.
They have choices. We do too now.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that y'all don't have to do that. That's again, I think that's not empowering as a human being to have to do that, to have to depend on somebody like that. So I'm okay with it. Again, I think where it bothers me also is I feel like at a certain age, like in a certain age range, that there is this wrestling between, like this wrestle to try to dismantle the community almost. Like we're like black women gonna be over here fighting against black men and we don't like each other. So, I mean, to me, sometimes it feeds into the fact that like we're supposed to be a community. We're supposed to be interdependent. And even outside of the context of relationships, like I need a Candace, a Q, a Kels in order to do this at the level that I do it at. Because if not, I mean, I have great ideas, but there are certain things I don't think through well. And so I bound, like there are certain needs that I have, there are certain skill sets that you all have that I don't have. And so not to say a man can't have them, but you all add a color and a flavor that men just don't have. So I do get concerned that this bridge between men and women gets bigger when we don't interpret the statement "I need" or "I want" very well. So that is another one of my concerns.
I agree. That's true. Something like driving by 3 gas stations on yeah, I do that. I need a man for that. I'm sorry. Deliver me, Lord. I do not put gas in my car.
Next week, we're taking our class with Corey Way. We might not need a man for protection. He's going to teach us how to protect ourselves, sir. Just thought I'd throw that out there since you make so many funnies about their protection.
Did you see the thing in I think it was New Jersey that I was asking about earlier, where the
No, I didn't see that. Yeah, what were you talking about?
The woman got, I don't know if she got beat up or something, or like a man was trying to make an advance at her, and he said no, and so he beat her up. Like he beat her up in front of this convenience store. And they had a rally yesterday, and at the rally, it was reported that it was pretty much all women there. And I was like, that.
Yeah. And then did you see Candace? You really should go into the group and read the comments on the post. There are many of us who have these types of stories. You know what I mean? As far as since quick add of guess of a hot topic in there. You know what I mean? But this is a very real thing. It's not a quote about like it's real. You know what I mean? Many of us have had, whether they be big or small, interactions with men, boys, males at some point where us simply saying no was not enough. And it resulted in aggression. It resulted in being touched, moved, embarrassed, called out, all of those things. You know what I mean? And that right there was extremely telling. That after this woman was physically assaulted for simply saying no, she is only supported by other women.
Of course.
You mean to tell me no males knew that there was going to be a rally for this woman's protection? Nobody knew. Nobody walking by happened to pick up on one of the protest signs and figure out what was happening and thought they might want to stand in the gap. Nobody?
Nobody.
Okay. But it's not a myth, and it's not just Black women. Like, it's not. We like to separate things, but it's not just Black women. If you are female and out here in the world, your agency is not your own when it comes to telling people, I don't like this thing in my purple circle. I don't want you in my space. That's always up for debate, and that should not be.
Absolutely, I agree. Which brings us to
like you hit a button. You should have gone and scrolled down, player. Should have scrolled down on that protection real quick.
We'll go to that post. Yeah, so that was actually we put that up in it. It says the other day we were on the topic of rejection and how it made fellas feel. This touches the other side of that rejection, which is a bit too frequent as well. So the post says, my worst fear is try to talk to me in the streets and I ignore him and he shoot me or something for not responding. And one of the responses says, it's kind of weird that everyone is laughing when this is something serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. It is serious.
Yeah.
All because of rejection.
Oh, okay. Well, it says it's not true. Men of the community are looking for the dude who dress. Okay, thank you for that. Because
that's good.
From the video I saw yesterday, I didn't see any men, so I'm glad to hear. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, thanks for clearing it up because we was about to.
Yeah, because that wasn't gonna be good. The point still stands that they're there to go. That's good that they're looking for them, but even then, if we got a group of women who are talking about not being protected, why was there not a group of the men that stayed with the women that needed protecting? Like, I mean, you out in this, I don't know. We're so segmented in our solutions, and it's because everybody is broke off doing these other different things. And yeah, you're out in the community, but what happens if there was a threat right there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not enough men to do both. There's not enough people to do both, not even just with protections, just in our changing, the evolving of our communities. There's enough room for people to do more than just one thing, to have more than just one conversation. Mm-hmm. This is about more than just, fighting somebody because you got loud. Like, it's a deep-rooted fear that we have. It's a deep-rooted understanding that you don't belong to you. It's deeper than just the ones or twos, and the fact that it does get laughed at, that it does get questioned to ad nauseum about what was you doing? Well, why couldn't you have just, know what I mean? What was wrong with just smiling? We still in 2021 having a conversation about why women won't just smile when some random man asked them, why you ain't smiling, little mama? Well, why couldn't you? I mean, what is it so wrong with being a woman? Why couldn't you just smile? I don't know you from Adam. Why am I just randomly smiling at random folks on request? Like, why is that my responsibility to do that for you?
Right. Yeah, we wearing masks now.
Women beat outside of grocery stores and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have more than one conversation about why a large group of a sector of people feel a certain way, whether that be Black men, whether that be Black women, whether that be Black people, whether it be trans, whatever segment you want to be, you have to be able to have multiple conversations. That's critical thinking, being able to put different points together to come to a conclusion. This is not a one thing. Oh, she shouldn't have, or they shouldn't have. This is people.
Right. I don't like, the thing is, men want us to understand, especially Black men. They want us to understand how they are so oppressed by the man. Mm-hmm. Even realize that even that their behavior. I feel like you ever what people say, when you come home, you take your struggles out on the people that are closest to you. Yep. And I almost feel like that's the behavior of Black men when it comes to Black women. Sometimes it's, you feel oppressed by the man, you can't confront it. Like, you don't want to challenge the man because you don't want to lose your job or whatever the case may be, but you come home and beat on your Black woman, or you feel the need to stand up against a Black woman and beat her for the rejection, or whatever the case. And it's like, that's a conversation that I feel like some Black men just don't want to acknowledge. First of all, not even having the conversation, they don't want to acknowledge that there's an issue, that if they want to go back and talk about slavery and what the white man did to them, think about what the white man did to you that is causing you to do to your own Black woman. And Black woman was taught to hold you down. So the abuse that Black women are taking from Black men, they do need to acknowledge that. And I think that's the part that they don't want to acknowledge, because it makes you sound weak. It makes you sound like a coward, which it is very cowardice. It makes you sound like a coward when a woman says, you don't talk to them people out there in the street. You don't go to that white man at that job. Because but that's what we see.
Yeah.
You're going to come home and say all this to me, you better make sure you say it to him when he out of line. That's
why you got all that hotness for me. Yeah. You save all of your good stuff for me, but I didn't do it to you. Yeah.
Right. And then the thing is, if you're gonna show grace outside of this, outside of the Black woman, then you need to show it with them too, because everybody has their moments. So I just feel like they don't even want to acknowledge. That's why when somebody put on the post that why is it laughing? Why are people laughing? It's because it's something that I really think people just in denial about. They just look over.
Yeah.
You don't have to smile yet as community. You have an expectation for that man to interview. It goes both ways.
I don't understand.
But I'm trying to get to the aisle with the lights on. Ain't nobody thinking about.
I think you're talking about intervene.
But
okay. So
if a woman is being abused,
the problem with that is that a smile doesn't necessitate protection.
Right.
So, and we don't know the problem. And I understand what he's saying, because I think sometimes it's not even so much the lack of smile, that it's the lack of, sometimes it's disrespectful. But what we don't necessarily interpret is A, either she just having a bad day, or B, that is her response to protect herself. Not because she's trying to be rude or mean, but if she doesn't come off strong, then you might think that it's okay to mismanage her or mishandle her. So I think we have to look at it like, even if she is doing that, like, even if my sister is getting on my nerves, I'm still not gonna let nobody hit on her.
Exactly.
To me, it's just that simple. Like my little sister, she can sometimes get that good nerve. But that's something we're gonna work out at home. That's not something where I'm gonna let somebody doing it. So even so, I think the expectation should be, and this is again, I understand sometimes my thoughts are different. I think that even so, that our default has to be always to protect our women. We can work out what's going on later, but let's get her out of this situation first, and then we can work on whatever need to be worked on at home.
Because when Black men get shot, Black women are out there pregnant in the shirts, holding up the fist, Black Lives Matter. I mean, on the front line.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think just like I said on the last post, I think we've got to deconstruct everything that is putting this divide. Like, if there's an expectation for protection, fine. I get that. I'm with that. But I get, again, I think it's the overall, we as a community, we have to start de-escalating the fact that we're not, like, I'm not your enemy, and not smiling. And I get what he's saying. It's not the smile, it's that. I get that. But it's again, it's understanding that as a man, there are some things that we just gotta do. There are some times that we just gotta say, listen, I'm going to lead this process. I don't care how you like it. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, don't smile at me ever, but I'm not gonna let you get beat up. Period. You don't have to like me, but I'm not.
Right, my not smiling at you does not affect your life. You are not traumatized at the fact that while I passed you on the way to the bus, I did not smile at you.
I just don't feel good.
Like, and I don't understand how we have to. This and again, this is one of those because women look at from the time that we are above, like, to our hip levels of our mothers, we are taught to be protected. We are taught to protect ourselves from men. We are protected as far as our bodies. We are told we could be targeted, all of those things. And that there's a certain amount, there's a certain type of people that we allow into our safe place. Everyone's not allowed there. So as we get older, the expectation that every interaction or the majority of our interactions with folks in our community are supposed to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and, oh, hey, King, how you doing? So glad to see you. When it was our uncles, it was our brothers, it was our brothers' friends, it was these, that, and the third, the people that were supposed to be the protectors that were not the protectors. So the assumption that our community is so together enough that when you pass a stranger, she's expected to provide you a smile or a what's up or any type of engagement outside of clearing the world, not blocking your way. That the fact that we're even having these contingencies put on, oh, but you want me to show up for you? Oh, you want me to intervene when this man's going upside your head? Oh, so I got to get my head rocked because I didn't, you know what I mean? So like that same woman that morning at lunch because she didn't say nothing when she was going to get her sandwich, or this evening when her dude is knocking her around at the bus. Oh, she couldn't speak earlier. Guess that's what she get. Maybe she should be nicer. He would knock her around. Like that is the interpretation of these types of conversations. So we can't speak about how much we love the Black woman, how much we love the Black man, how much of a community we need to be. And then we put all these contingencies on just allowing a person to live in said community. Like those two things don't align. So that's why people don't believe each other when they say, oh, I love you, because you don't show up for me when it's inconvenient for you. You know what I mean? You don't show up unless you get something from it. It should not be transactional. That's not how that should work. If I see you getting hurt, I couldn't care less if you spoke to me 5 minutes ago. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that person stops hurting you. Because I love you. Because you're a human.
Because you're human and you don't deserve the treatment that you're getting. Right.
Like I don't need all the explanations of how. And I even had a really close friend of mine explain to me, for a man, sometimes you could lose your life and you could do all of those things for showing up and doing all that. I get all that. Like I get all that. That's what we show up marching for y'all for. Like we understand that too. But all of this argumentation that we get back and forth and all these bullet points of what y'all didn't do to deserve to be protected is bullshit. I'm sorry. We might not get to run an ad on that, but I'm not here for it. And I love y'all, but that's messed up. And I don't believe you. Like, we don't believe you. Stop saying that. Like, stop it. Because it doesn't, your actions don't align with what you're saying. It's not. So
it doesn't. And when those topics come up about submission, oh
Lord, don't go there.
Go past it. And I'm just saying, like, because go past the submission post if you don't show up. If she's too difficult to protect, then you definitely don't even need to comment on the submission post. Then you shouldn't even expect anything. Especially all those people who quote them Bible verses about submission
incorrectly.
And then have the nerve to demand something from a woman when you just can't simply show up. When you can't defend a woman, when you can't, even if she wrong, she still doesn't deserve to be mistreated. So if her attitude was funky, this still doesn't need anybody.
We're gonna deal with that later. We ain't gonna win. You're not gonna get hit.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, well, what does she do? So now you victim shaming. That's not cool.
I think like I was like, nah. That to your mama? Like, I don't. Again, that's how. Like, would you really do that to your mother or your sister? Or ain't no way, guys. Look at my sister the wrong way.
Right, it's going down. I tell my boys that all the time. I wish you would. Let me find out.
Look at her the wrong way.
Let me find out. It's going down. So yeah, that it's a shame that because we already have to go to work and smile at the people of our other color, so we won't look so aggressive and we have to pretend to not be the angry Black woman at work. So give us a minute to look regular and target because we got to go back to work and smile and pretend to be not frustrated at work because they think we're so aggressive. We have to watch our tone. We have to watch, talking with our hands in meetings so they won't think we're so aggressive. So damn, y'all think y'all got pressure by the white man. Please work with a group of white women and talk about pressure.
Yeah.
We both need to be supporting each other because y'all got pressure. We got pressure too. Work with white women.
Yep.
And let's talk about some pressure. On that note,
Again, we
Okay,
can
I'm
say,
gonna
we
be
can
drinking
say this
water.
last one. It's time to go. We can say this last one for next week. Then
Mhm.
that was
I'm
gonna be. I was gonna end the show on the high, trying to end the show on the high note with that with this last one, but I don't.
We got
Hallelujah.
action items after that one now. We
Right,
got actions to go out and do better and be better.
we need to go. We need to go. We need to think on that one. Yeah. And again, I'm gonna close that topic by saying again, I think we could do better. I don't as a man, and I'm saying this as me as a man, I can do better. So I think we can all look in the mirror and say, let's look at how we can protect people better, protect women better, protect our children better, protect our community better. Because as a man, my expectation is that we lead. So that's me. And again, y'all disagree if you want, but I can tell you this: I ain't never in my life had to have a conversation with a woman about submission. So just don't. I've never had it. And again, it's not that I'm perfect because I make every mistake in the world. So that's not it at all. But you for doggone sure ain't gonna beat me trying. So
We tried it.
you're gonna try. So,
First step to recovery is stop denying it. That's how I feel about it.
I don't like it. I just don't like where we are. I don't like how we treat each other. I don't like it.
We gotta do better.
I don't like it.
It's really disgusting. It's really disgusting.
And I'm, I want every time I see something like, okay, we getting better. And I'm like,
And then it'll be that one post. It'll be that one post.
The whole game.
Issues in their comments, and I'm just like,
man. So, all right, let's wrap it up. Candace, you got any final thoughts?
Keep hope alive. I mean, let's keep hope alive. Go, Kamala Harris. I'm just so proud, even though I don't like politics people at all, but just to see how far we've come as women and in leadership, I'm just proud to be a woman, even with all the difficulties of not feeling protected, all of that stuff. I am still proud to be a Black woman. So no matter what, ladies, stay encouraged. There are some out there who are willing to protect. So just get around the right people, and like old boy said on the previous, protect yourself. Walk around strapped if you have to, and keep hope alive.
Q.
Also keep hope alive, but have a really great week. I would encourage you all to go to elegancebydesign.com and click around, place your orders for your good stuff. I love this ad right here. Therese just looks entirely too happy to be that fly on that stool right there. So I love it. But you can purchase your products at elegancebydesign.com. If you are in the Oklahoma City metro area, you can also swing by the Back to My Roots marketplace. There is a large variety of our product line on hand at the marketplace. Is at 4321 Southeast 43rd Street in Del City, Oklahoma. So please, if you would like to Google it, it'll get you right there. And go ahead and swoop up your Back to My Roots products, as well as a myriad of other Black-owned businesses here in the city. It's literally your one-stop shop for all the hotness here in Oklahoma City right now. So
that's what's up.
A couple things. So, of course, if you have not, still looking to advertise, you can definitely advertise with us. We would love to market your products on our show. So if you have questions or if you're ready to sign the contract, email us at globaldriveradio@gmail.com or see me. You can inbox me or DM me or call me, whichever you like, and we can discuss which package is best for you. Other than that, good show. A lot of good conversation. Candace, being here. We appreciate you for covering for Kills. I tell you, I gotta get Candace a shirt.
Snap.
You here now? So
when we put you in the game, you officially on the team. Boom, in the game, coach.
Regular.
So we appreciate you for being here, and we definitely do Miss Kel. So she's, we need to make sure she stay rested with all
Yes.
on her Oprah grind. So shout out.
Yes.
Definitely know we thinking about you. If you do need to catch us on the replay, you can catch us. Who gave you all of our social media sites, but you can catch us on YouTube at the Scoop Show. So definitely go and check that out if you need to see a replay. Other than that, I'm ready to go. I'm tired. You
Oh,
look
going
like a little bit.
take these earrings off.
Candace got that good night look on her face too. So
Take my earrings off now. So
I didn't have Kels here counting my swallowed yawns tonight. I know she's gonna tell me about them on the replay. She always said, she said, Q, I saw you, them nostrils flaring. I said, girl, that last 30 minutes is rough for you, girl.
That's why I don't drink, like, me too. I don't drink coffee and I ain't on pop or something like that.
I'm about an hour plus past my bedtime normally. So yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We appreciate everybody who put in your comments as well. If you have not hit the share button, still hit the share button. Start a watch party. Invite your friends. We'll be back next Tuesday at the same time. I can't remember if we have a guest next Tuesday. I think we do, but I can't remember. Either way, it's gonna be a good show. So we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Yeah.
Baby, if this is goodbye, I want you just can't give up. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? 'Cause I'm gonna try. Baby, I'll treat you right. Just give me one more try. If it's goodbye.